Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, good 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on what time it is at your house. You're here with me in my house, in my teeny tiny art studio. My name is Sheila Atchley, also known as the Preacher's Wife. And I'm just so excited, I'm delighted, I'm honored that you would choose to spend even a few minutes of your day here with me today. I'll have you know, I have this house all to myself. It is so quiet. It's so peaceful here right now. I should probably be giving myself a sorely needed pedicure while listening to soft music. Because my weekend has been just a little bit stressful. Hasn't been the worst weekend I've ever had, but nor has it been the best. My soul could use a little bit of restoration. But I'm choosing instead to spend a few minutes here with you today, encouraging your beautiful soul, in the hopes that as I encourage your beautiful soul, that my own beautiful soul will come away encouraged. I'm also taking great comfort in the fact that no matter what my hair looks like on any given day, my soul is always beautiful. My hair and I got in an argument this morning. The hair won, and I threw up my hands and said I quit, and I came in here and sat down to hang out with you for a little while. So make sure you have your coffee, very important, and we're going to get started. I was talking to a friend of mine last week about soul restoration, about the fact that God's in the full-time business of soul restoration. Psalms 23 says it so well. He restores my soul. And I don't think it's any accident, I don't think it's mere coincidence that we find contained in restore, we find the word rest. Because an unrestored soul cannot rest. A less than fully restored soul will always be continually searching for that finished work. And I don't think we realize how much of our stress, if we were to get to the bottom of it and define it in biblical terms, how much of our stress is actually due to the fact that deep down our souls long for some completed thing. Any completed work. We are so undone. And deep down inside we know that. We often find it mirrored in our circumstances. But regardless, outside of Christ, we have this innate knowledge, I think, that we are undone. And we need to be continually reminded that that completed thing, that finished work, is found in Christ alone. And you so knew I was going to say that, didn't you? This Jesus freak. I will be here saying that to you till my dying day, that what you need is found in the gospel. It is found in Christ alone. Because you see, God is fully committed. And with some of us, it is a full-time job. He's fully committed to the art and the craft of restoring our souls. And He does such beautiful, amazing work. The Hebrew meaning behind the English word restore, the Hebrew meaning behind that denotes this idea of repeatedly, again, the word again, over and over, again and again, as often as necessary. He restores our soul. And because God has infinite capacity for attention, and because God has infinite capacity for delight, He never, ever gets bored with this process of restoring our souls. Man, what good news is that? That you and I have His undivided attention, and He fully delights in restoring us. The question I want to ask you, the important question today, is this. what sort of soul restoration are you up for? What sort of soul restoration can you commit to? Are you up for the rehab for the rental property? Or are you committed to this grace journey? Because that's what it's going to be. A journey into the gospel and a journey into grace. Are you committed to that grace journey because you want to be the legacy house? Not the rental house, the legacy house. That strong, sturdy, beautiful home by the sea. That legacy house that others can come to, that others who fought generations to come even can find rest for their own souls just from examining the finished work of Christ in you. The souls of others can be restored. That kind of a legacy house. Which soul restoration are you up for? Because one takes less time, one takes more time. One can be a DIY project. You can try to clean up your own soul, and I'm not going to lie to you, you will meet with a measure of success in your own strength. You can try to make repairs here and there. You can try to make improvements, and you'll meet with a little bit of success. But the other soul restoration, the legacy house, that, beloved, is done by grace alone. You cannot do that one yourself. Somebody else has to do the work. When I finished up talking to my friend about this stuff last week, the next day or maybe a couple of days later, I ran across the most perfect quote by C.S. Lewis. I wish I'd had it with me when she and I were talking, but maybe she's watching this video today, so maybe I'll still get a chance to share it with her. If she's not watching today, I'll make sure she hears it from me this week. But great quote by C.S. Lewis. It's wonderful being over 40. Wouldn't trade it for anything. My eyes are so powerful. Here's the quote. It says, imagine yourself as a living house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps you can understand what He is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks in the roof and so on. You knew that those jobs needed doing, and so you were not surprised. But presently, He starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make any sense. What on earth is He up to? The explanation is that He is building quite a different house from the one you thought of. He's throwing out a new wing here, putting on an extra floor there, running up towers, making courtyards. You thought you were being made into a decent little cottage, but He is building a palace. He intends to come live in it Himself. That's Mere Christianity, C.S. Lewis. I want to leave you with the truth that oftentimes a good soul restoration, the legacy house restoration, feels a lot at first like a nervous breakdown. It can hurt abominably, but be encouraged because the Lord does all things well, and He so delights in the work of His hands, and you are the work of His hands, and I promise you, He makes everything beautiful in His time. And don't forget, go to Him this week, purpose in your heart, to go to God as often as necessary, again and again and again, moment by moment, and ask Him to please restore your soul. He will be faithful to do that. Thank you so much for spending just a little while with me today, and I will see you next time.